Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for Now, the best podcast that people listen to. We're going to have to change that.
Remember
up
we
now.
used to call the best podcast you've never heard of? Bullshit.
Yeah. And
Fucking
actually,
loads of people have heard it.
I'm a bit ashamed of that because although we were saying it ironically with a little, sly grin, whereas things that go through me, which is one of our bits, and we've got a very amazing... If you haven't watched last week's podcast, please go back and watch it because it is so funny and there's so many new inside jokes that you're just really going to struggle with. And my big laugh award, Jim's big laugh award, feels like, oh, is it right ear only? Sorry guys, what's happened here? Are you struggling to hear us? Right,
I can hear.
Jim's only loud in my left ear, and that's okay. Hang on, let me sort this. Oh dear, there's always something, isn't there? There's always something.
Do you want me to Phil? Shall I
Phil?
Phil?
Yeah, Phil. Quickly, Phil. Go.
Well, I'm going to go straight into it. Arsenal fans are very chipper at the moment, aren't they?
Yes.
They're very, very, very chipper. And they, full fair play. Like they deserve to be, don't they? Because, they've won 5 games and bounced. I mean, some might argue that, it's been a very easy start, but you've got to win your games. Like, out of everybody, they've had the easiest start, hands down. It's like, are they only going to play anyone good at any time? Probably, because that's the way the league works. So, no, fair play. Well done, right? Well done. But we are moving towards the bottle job territory, aren't we, James?
Okay. You just need to take your time and work towards that. Is that what that's the aim for you?
I'm just saying,
okay, hang on. Sorry, is this better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I just on one ear now? I feel like I should be. Yes. Great. Okay. Well done.
Good.
Stop filling, Flav. See how Flav just turned it on there. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
Well,
stuff.
we need to go back to that because I haven't finished.
Okay, carry
on. So Arsenal have done really well, haven't they? But it is getting to that point where they're thinking, well, if they don't win it from this position,
Don't win it. Well, win the whole thing.
What? Just at what point are we going to start calling them bottle jobs if they don't win it from this point? I don't know.
Sure.
I'm just. All I'm doing is picking up the energy from the Arsenal fans. All right, picking it up. This sort of positive. Arteta is the second coming of Christ mentality, and I'm just saying. At some point, there needs to be an expectation that you're going to win the league.
Right. I hear you. I don't think that's after 5 games. Is it?
What, 5 wins on the bounce?
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Are they title challengers?
What, my sweet Gunners? I think there's a real chance.
It's absolutely pathetic if they don't make a title challenge this season. If they from this position, if they don't, they're not in the title race. It's pathetic.
Okay. What were the expectations going into the season?
I don't know.
That's my starting point, and that's my finishing point as well.
Boring though, James.
Yeah, but so what's happening with Spurs though? Like, where are you sitting on that?
We're not talking about Spurs. We're talking about Arsenal, aren't we? And we're talking about what's where their expectations need to be now.
Right, I hear you.
Because at the start of the season, like I said, they spent a lot of money. And
have they won the window? Would you say they've won the window?
I think they've done. Is that going to be the title?
Well, I mean, we'll come back to that actually, because what I will say is we have got this is the old tier list, which I'll have to just reset. But we can very quickly chuck a few people up wherever we need to. But I mean, they're in. Well, are you saying they better win the window because with the money that they spent, if they don't,
oh no, because
they're a disgrace to football? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I think the transfer business has been excellent, and I thought they've done really well, and good because of the work they've done in the window. They should be challenging for the league, and they're 5 games in, and that's where their expectations should be. I don't want to hear all this revisionism when they have to start playing some decent teams and. They're playing twice a week, 3 times a week sometimes.
I sort of Jim Whited you there a little bit. So Simon, what I think you're saying here is that you don't like people that are Jewish.
No, I'm saying, Jim, that
you'd like to bomb some, certain countries. Is that what you're saying,
Jim? This is it. This is. There's no. Oh, we're planning for the future. This is it. You've blown your load now. You cannot continue to spend this way. This is your team. If come November time you happen to be outside the top 4, I just don't want to hear any of this in any say, oh, yeah, but we're building for the future kind of.
Right?
nonsense.
Yeah. No,
That's
no.
all.
I think that's fun. I think that's fun.
It's pathetic if they don't challenge for the title this year.
Okay. Well, do you know what? I feel like they are the strong. Well, they're obviously top of the league right now. Are my sweet Gunners, and
Right.
they are the closest contenders to Man City at this moment in time. Both quite literally on the table, but also in terms of performances, they are. They're much better than Liverpool. They're much better than Liverpool at this moment in time.
They beat an Aston Villa. Well, I don't know because Liverpool beat Bournemouth. Was it 9-0 and Arsenal managed 3?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Which is something that we've got an unwritten rule as well, actually, in the pod. But we have that was disgusting to see, wasn't it? Because as we've made very clear on this channel, 9-0 was a fluke.
That was a travesty to football.
Yeah.
But you know what, Jim?
Same happened to Dundee. Dundee United.
I don't know what they're thinking, these bosses. But what I would say is that it wasn't the football that got Parker sacked. Resulting in him sacked. It was him asking for loads more money. What do you make of that situation? Because he was like, "You're at Bournemouth. It's not like you can't start speculating." Well, then again, Nottingham Forest have. It just shows you the direction of the football club.
Nottingham Forest have.
What's the total then?
We're at 21, I think.
That's mad.
Unbelievable.
Spurs might not use 21 players in a season. What are they?
It's crazy. Sure, we'll get to that.
They won the. All right, okay.
Because I do want to put something forward. Right, guys, this is quite special. I think this is really, really special. So we did merch once, didn't we? Sort of briefly, and a few people got stuff from that. But the guys at Alive and Kicking, this is so cool. I'm so excited for you guys to see this. The guys at Alive and Kicking got in touch with me and said, "Would you like to do something together?" And basically what they do at Alive and Kicking, they make. They sort of ethically make bespoke footballs that you can obviously go and buy. Now, I've done that, and I wanted it to be special, and I didn't want it to be generic. So, just to, I guess, finish off with Alive and Kicking, they are a charity that, as I say, make footballs. The footballs that we've had made are made in Nairobi, Kenya, and so they make these ethical jobs. They also give these balls out to communities all around the world, in particular Africa, and through that they're able to educate people through sport. So it's an amazing, amazing charity, and I'm really proud that we've been able to do something with them. Yeah. So on to the main event. We have our own page. I actually want to. I'm going to show you so the best way of doing it, and Flav, you won't be able to see the video, but you've seen the video because I've sent it to you previously. Yes, yeah. So this is the one of a kind. Although obviously there's more, and the more that you guys order, the more that will be made. This is the Jaffin ball. Wait. So here we go. Ready? So wait for it to spin round. What we've put on it is all the in-jokes that we've had over the sort of Jaffin years. Because again, me and Flav love Jaffin, and it is special, but it is ours, and it's bespoke, and there's people that get it and there's people that don't. So if you want to get this ball as a memento, every single penny obviously goes to charity, and it's just, I think it's cool. So here it is. Wait for it to spin round, and those who are proper slugs will get the joke. Here we go. So here it is. That was the ball. So you got trees, seagulls, slugs, and a sandwich. Just one sandwich. Just one sandwich in the middle of this amazing ball. Flames on there, seagulls, trees, slugs. It's all there. It's absolutely amazing. I've got some more pictures of it somewhere. Actually, I can show you here. So let me show you the page. So that is the ball that's made in Kenya, and you can pre-order your ball right this second if you want to.
The one singular sandwich is my favourite.
And the email chain is very odd, because there were some pictures going around from Lou, and I thought, can you use these pictures? This would be great. But could you put one sandwich, just one sandwich on? So this is the page. The link's in the description. It's also pinned at the top of the chat as well. Yeah, get on it, guys.
Wonderful thing to be a part of. It's absolutely bizarre. The idea that it's in Africa, in Kenya, they are making a football based on in-jokes from our podcast is absolutely bizarre. But what it does is give back to such an important charity, and one that really shows what football can do to
and
benefit.
Sport, right, as well.
Sport in general, yeah.
It's amazing. Get involved.
Yeah, so
please.
There's no way Louis and the community pages must be doing backflips right now.
Well, these are pictures from that Twitter account from that moment. Right. Do you remember those different pictures going on? So there you go. As I say, seagulls. We've got. Let me go
What's
back
that
to
little flame?
Flames, yeah, of course.
Flames, yeah.
Seagulls, a tree, slugs, and a sandwich.
And the bloke you're talking to, so just one sandwich, yes?
Yeah,
So after the original chat about there being a sandwich on the ball, after they've got past that, but it's important, it's just one.
Exactly. Yeah, that was it. It has to be just one. And so no, they smashed it, and I love it. I love the colours. I love it. I'll be having one. It will be in my background very, very soon because I'm pre-ordering, of course, as well. So get on it, and they will be shipped out to you guys. And please, even if it's your, if you can't do Patreon for a few weeks, or if it to take money from that to give it to this, please do it because it's just cool. It's really, really cool. Right, on to the podcast and the Jim Big Laugh Award.
Jim, I need to talk about Haaland as well at some point.
Okay, let's do the Jim Big Laugh Award. Then we will stop there and we will talk about the window and we'll talk about Haaland. Okay, because I saw your tweet and I thought it was great. So, as I said, go back to last week's podcast if you haven't seen it because it was gold.
It's a banger.
It was a banger, wasn't it? So, and actually, maybe we kick off with Slugs in the Wild because it leads into the other bits.
Do you know, Joe, currently we're still from last week's episode in the top 50 sports podcasts in the UK.
Come on.
We're mixing it with the likes of, others.
Performance podcast, yeah. Pitchside, the likes of Pitchside, Ben Foster.
The likes of Pitchside.
The Fozcast.
And we're not them. We haven't. Maybe I'm underestimating your influence, Jim.
It's our bloody influence. So what we will do, we'll be doing that in a few weeks. Let's not muddy messages. Today's message is going by the new Jaff and Ball. Links in the description. But in a couple,
people listen to this on Spotify if they want to.
But what I'm saying is, in a couple of weeks, we will mobilise the Slugs and see if we can get to the top of the charts. Actually, it's got to be next week, isn't it? It's got to be next week.
Well, so I don't know actually if I'm even going to be here next week.
Okay, because it's Flav's wedding. So we will see. We'll talk about it. But at some point, we will top the charts. Okay. Yeah. So Slugs in the Wild, which will lead into the Big Jim Laugh Award. Let me show you this because this is delightful. And you've fortunately been able to see it. So this is Matt.
So what is Slugs in the Wild?
Slugs in the Wild. So for those of you who don't know, our people. We call ourselves Slugs. Moist Slug is a patron. Link to that as well if you need it. But again, I'm mudding messages. But or you're a dry slug, which is fine. Now, we also have an in-joke about popping off to fleet services for just a quick nosh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Matt, we wanted people to film themselves. Don't film the person because that's not fair. But film yourself talking to someone in Japanese.
Wild.
In the wild. Speaking Japanese.
Right, and this cannot stop because this is my favourite thing that we've done since starting this podcast 5 years ago. This is my favourite thing. This cannot stop. Please continue.
Yeah, this is good. Right. How do you feel about, because I like getting your reaction live, how do you feel about them just being sent to me?
That's fine.
You're okay with that? Okay, so send them to me on Twitter. Sometimes I'll make it, sometimes I won't because I forget, and I apologise for that. So actually probably the best time to do it is on a Wednesday afternoon if you're going to send me the video. That gives you a best chance. Peter Kelly with a super chat. It's time Flav admits he and Boovy were wrong and Makola was right. I'm busy. Sorry. It's a super chat. I was right as Martinez is an elite Premier League centre-back. Flav was right, Ben White is right.
Well, look, go over to Bet Victor's channel and see what I thought about Lisandro Massad.
Okay, but Bible first. Right. So this is Mac. Here we go. Let's see what it says. Very cool looking man, by the way.
Mm. Is this Fleet Services?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I go for a quick nosh with the slugs?
Do you mind?
Wait, shush.
Wait.
Hear the whole thing.
All right.
Do you mind if I go for a quick nosh of the slugs?
What?
Just go for a quick nosh of the sluggies. Moist. Dry.
Right.
James and Flav are going to be here, so... It'd be like an hour, maybe. Depends how many slugs there are to nosh. Why are you laughing? Yeah? Alright. See you in a bit.
She must have thought he was having a stroke.
Yeah, very.
My favourite bit. About an hour. My favourite bit is moist, dry.
Yeah, exactly. Can't forget the dry. Matt, great work, great beard,
Mate, I love
great
you.
glasses,
That was amazing. Yeah,
great man. So that was good. That did make me laugh. Other things that made me laugh this week. Bend over, good name. He said, "Hi guys, just checking in. I had the pleasure of finally visiting Fleet Services the other day for the first time. It completely lived up to the hype. I even looked behind the bins, and would you believe that I found someone hiding behind it in a trench coat and nothing else? I asked him for a nosh, and he was only too happy to comply. When we finished, I said, 'How long have you been a slug then?' To which he replied, 'What the hell are you talking about?' before walking away. Is this an inside joke I've missed?" Love the pod. Yeah, don't know about that one, mate.
yeah. You just got a nosh off a homeless person.
Sometimes you will. That's just par for the course. You will nosh off the odd homeless person. JT Gaming.
Accidentally.
This made me laugh. Just as I pictured it. JT Gaming. As a Southend fan, I went to see Ipswich versus Southend in pre-season. After 2 relegations in 3 seasons, I could have cried when Southend put 15 passes together and nearly scored. We lost 3-1, but I came away very happy. It made me laugh because I thought the idea of they got to about 7 passes, and then you could imagine all the fans just started going,
What's going on?
And then it got. You know when you've done something with your mates where you're trying to keep the ball up, and you do 3, 4, and then you all of a sudden you do 12, and you're trying to get to 20, and you get close and you get excited.
Oh,
I'm gonna imagine that.
Jim, we've got a common friend in Callum Randall, who was a Southend. He used to go home and away with Southend.
Yeah, and
it felt like in my entire time, the 3 or 4 years working with him, I'm not sure Southend had ever won a game. He just came in and went, lost again.
Lost again.
Not only lost, we were terrible. Didn't even have a shot on target. That seems to be the narrative every week. Yeah. When was the last time Southend won a game?
I'd love to know. They've gone through the ringer. It's been a very, very tough time.
I don't think there's very, very few clubs have gone through what Southend have gone through and are still in business.
Can I just say, Ducking Fuzz just wrote, just checking in. And I love that. It's old school. So if everyone could just check in. It is Friday. You've made it. It's the weekend. Happy days. Congratulations. So make sure we get some checking-ins in the chat. And Joe Abella, this made me laugh, recently graduated university and been looking for jobs. After many interviews and a lot of disappointment, I stumbled upon a lovely little place where everything just seemed right, but couldn't quite put my finger on it. The interview went smoothly, but the man asked me that he needs to do one last test before offering me the job. On the way out, I noticed that no one was at their desks except for one man muttering something to himself under his breath. I couldn't quite make out what he said, but it sounded like, "It's not fair, I don't like doing that." He seemed furious. We took a right turn and towards the toilets. I was getting quite anxious. We walked into the men's toilets where he turned to me and said, "Every hour we take 15 minutes for a little self-bum. What do you say?" Result, I've been happily working here for 2 months now.
Wow. There is that. I mean, go back and watch last week. You'll figure out what a self bum is.
Yes. This made me laugh as well. Tyler Norton. We were talking about my mum's keen on mushrooms, and Tyler Norton said if James's mum comments below, it better be the highest rated comment ever. There was no comment from Valerie. Power move from Valerie. Impressive stuff.
Good work.
And this was just a question, actually, more than anything. I thought it was interesting, so I put it here. Connor McManus just started a new job, and I have a question. How do you gauge if someone likes football? Do you just go out and ask, or do you try and bring it up casually and see how much their involvement is in it? Would love to know. Cheers. I thought that was a good question for you, Flav. So you're in a new workplace, and you're trying to sort of sniff out. Is that the right word? If people are into football. How would you go about it?
I wouldn't, for a start. I'd really hope that it would never come up that we'd have to talk about football. Office chat is bad enough. Then talking about fucking, anything about football is also like the worst part about working at Bull Street is that we have to talk about football all the time. But typically, I think men. Well, the worst part of this is if you actually strike up a conversation with someone who wants to talk about football, then within about 90 seconds, you're like, oh God, you don't know anything about football. You know a little bit.
Not enough.
Yeah. You're not on my level here.
So
you're not as sad as I am. You're not because I think football's quite a geeky thing. I've come to a point now that it's the most social acceptable geeky thing that there is. Like, it's a bit geeky as well, isn't it? Especially
you think it's geeky, isn't it? It is. I think
you don't.
I think you're right. We've been fortunate that it's not put in a geeky. It doesn't seem to be put in a geeky sphere. It's more. It's almost in a laddie. It's a laddie sphere, but it's mainstream enough. Unlike fighting is more laddie, isn't it? But it's not as somehow it's not as mainstream. It's harder to sort of to have that knowledge. Whereas football, you can have that broad knowledge and get away with it. Because we've got your wedding next week, and me and Craig had a chat about this once, where if when you go to a wedding and they're a little bit posh, and then they'll kind of go, what do you do? Or it gets onto football. Craig would go like, if they had a posh accent, and then he'd go, oh, who do you support? No. And he'd go, I'm a Man United fan. He'd go,
yes,
get me out of here. Get me out of here. So that's the same with a new job. That's the problem. Is it's like, who do you support? Man United. Okay.
Yeah. That's the first time I met Sam Peoples. Who do you support? Man United. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Fucking him and Tanvir sitting there, both from severely south of England, both typing about severely south of England. Literally, Sam lives in a place called Southend.
Yeah.
Right. So and they're both sitting there just typing their little bloody articles about Phil Jones's latest injury, and they start when you meet a Man United fan from the south, or worse, I think even a Liverpool fan from the south, they're starting from a bad place.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. They need to be super good people in order to get into your friendship group.
Do you know what? It's actually better. It's easier if you're American. Or do you know what I mean? Because like, we've got to pick someone. You got to pick someone. So it doesn't matter. Liverpool got you. Whereas it's harder.
So what I'm saying is that at some point in Sam People's life, he's looked at the table and gone, "Man United are the best. I'm going to support them."
Yeah. Dan Bardell said to me once, it's brilliant. It was his pet hate. He's like,
he's a Villa fan, right?
He's a Villa fan, and he said, "My pet hate is that when you say, oh, who do you support?" and they go Man United, and then you go, "Why do you support them?" and go, "Oh, it was just the first game I went to." And he was like, well, there was two teams playing. What's wrong with Swindon? Why don't you support Swindon?
Exactly. It's nonsense. The only way you can get around it is if your dad supports them. But then what? Yeah. What was your dad's motives? What was he up to?
My dad was born in West London, so I'm fine. And it's
QPR, you start up there, James.
Yeah.
When you said I'm QPR, I'm like, I like this guy.
Do you know what? It's a good test for me though, because if I go,
Chelsea weren't there. Chelsea were there as well, and you're still QPR. Decent.
Oh God, obviously.
Like it.
Because with the QPR thing, in that wedding scenario, I'll go, who do you support? They go Man United. If I go, they go, who do you support? And I go QPR, and I go, go on then.
Yeah. I was just about to say, my eyes would light up like that.
Yeah, honestly, everyone goes,
God, them ours, eh?
Taarabt.
Them ours.
who's a free agent, by the way. Has been released by his contract.
Benfica.
Mick Beale said, and I quote, "I like players with action man hips. Go and get the deal done." Okay.
Yeah, but he's the central defendant. That's
Mate, you do a job.
CDM.
Please come home. Please.
You've literally got his name behind you.
That's it. Oh, imagine if you came home. Oh, it's so good. Why not?
Came home. QPR is not his home.
It is. It's certainly not. Certainly not Benfica. Although he has probably been there longer. He definitely has.
Much longer.
So what would you do? I think you kind of do you do like when it's a bit quiet in the office, you go, oh. And they go, what? Oh, we just lost him yesterday. Something like that. I don't know. Who knows?
You can whistle. You could whistle at a theme. Sorry, excuse me. Since I've had COVID, I just can't get rid of this cough. It's really annoying for people to listen to, though.
Okay.
Yeah, you just go in there going like, whistling your team's anthem, like if it's you'll never walk alone, or humming it to yourself.
QPR were back-to-back wins, by the way.
Yeah,
about that? Yeah, about that?
Who?
QPR were back-to-back wins and a really exciting new loan player from Aston Villa that when I tweeted, everyone went, why have we let him go?
Really? That's interesting. So what are you saying, Jim? Is something happening?
I'm not saying anything. But we have won back-to-back games. And at Watford, are they expected to go up this year? Beat them away.
You went to Vicarage Road and beat Watford.
Slapped up Watford.
Premier League touted João Pedro.
Exactly.
And yet, what happened? QPR turned up with big swinging dick and just slapped it around Watford's face.
Yeah. Ethan Laird, Kenneth Powell, 2 fullbacks just racing on. And then we got Ilias Chair and Chris Willock, who's it's a joke.
It's like QPR just went up to him and, do you mind just, can you just open your mouth? There you go. Have that. Sorry, Watford, do you mind just opening your mouth a little bit? There you go.
Guys, sorry to interrupt. Could you just open your mouths? Is that all right? Because I just need to pop that in there.
That's essentially...
around the mouth as well. Can I just pop that in there? Honestly, it'll take 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay, as you
1, 2.
Good luck with the rest of the season. Good luck with the rest of the season.
I'll see you in. I'll see you in February.
I think the real question, though, Flav,
no hard
is
feelings.
Who won the window? Who won the bloody window? And I know you want to talk about Haaland as well, and that is just a vehicle for this. And to be honest, I'm not expecting you to answer it. So why don't you tell me about Haaland, and I'll just do this tier list on my own for a bit. Yeah?
What? You're actually doing a tier list?
Well, I'll just do it because it'll take forever otherwise. And you can critique any of my picks if you'd like.
Well, look, when we can do it together. Well, when
you'll get bored though, so I'll just do.
I am bored. I am bored even looking at that right
exactly.
now. But
so, go on.
I just need to know quickly what the fuck are we all going to do about Haaland? And this isn't what a Spurs going to do, because a few Spurs fans got confused and tweeted me going, "Well, it's down to Daniel Levy. We should have tried to buy him." I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what are we going to do as a collective? I'm talking about us. I'm talking about Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, everybody coming together to stop this man. What are we going to do?
We need.
Do you know the record for Premier League? In the Premier League, is it 34 goals? 32, 34?
Yeah.
And Andy Cole and Shearer.
And Salah as well, I think.
He's got 9 in 5.
I know.
Right? He is within 24 goals of breaking the record. He'll get plus 40 unless he gets injured. Is it bad to wish injury on him because he's too good? And when I tweeted, when he signed, I said Man City have just sewn up the Premier League for 5 years. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's the Premier League. It's different. Don't be so wet." Now, what are you saying?
Yeah.
He cannot be stopped. He's a phenom. He's a machine. And the only way we can stop him is to break him.
Yeah, I mean,
we have to break him.
I said it. I've used the word procession numerous times, and I stand by that.
Procession?
Like, it's going to be so easy. Do I keep getting that word wrong? I forgot that word. Procession.
What? Yeah, but what do you mean by it?
Basically, it's that cakewalk.
Oh, right. Yeah. A procession.
Procession.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's...
Iceberg ahead. I like this. I like this. Okay. It's good. Iceberg. I didn't realise we were going to do it this quickly, which is good.
Well, I'll do it quickly and then you can critique it. I think it's a better way. Because you know when we've done this in the past and you get bored?
Yeah, this is better. Much better way to go. Oh, what are you doing? No, we don't have to be too clickbait.
Definitely standing still. Definitely, I think they're standing still. Newcastle is good, but is it good? Yeah, but I think that's me done. I think.
So you reckon Man City won the window?
They've got a net profit, and they've got Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That sounds pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think, more or less, you've definitely got... I mean, could Leicester and Villa... I mean, Bournemouth are down. They're down. They gave up before they even started.
The thing with Bournemouth... you talked to us about Scott Parker, right? What dawned on me, and I said it in my stream yesterday, was... If... The club, like, if you think Scott Parker's got to go, then fine, get it. he obviously wanted signings, and you weren't happy with what he said.
Yeah.
But as soon as you sack him, you won't be able to sign another player. So I don't know, unless they were gonna, they were very clear that they weren't going to sign another player, right? Then they went, okay, we'll sack him because we're not going to sign anyone anyway. Then fine. But if not, if you were still trying to get transfers over the line, don't sack him before the window shuts.
I think he just made his position untenable. Like, it was impossible for him to keep his job, I think.
But I get that, and I like that's what, like, normally, you know what I'm like. Normally I'm like, give him time. But I think it was the right decision. I just think it was done I think you've got to be a bit more cutthroat almost, and wait till Monday.
I was listening to TalkSport as it happened, and the Bournemouth fans that called up were saying they didn't like him anyway. Like, he wasn't well liked. He wasn't like, he was very much an us and him kind of.
Right.
It felt.
I'm
only going by 3 people that called in after he was sacked. But
I mean, those guys wouldn't say something provocative without being able to back it up. But
what they talked about is they were talking about the sort of backing what the chairman has said, is that we're a community club. We pull together, we work together. That's the ethos of Bournemouth. It isn't doing what Scott Parker wanted.
Yeah, and sure, I said this as well. Like, we were talking about, Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, obviously completely different financial models here.
But
do you
similar
blame
incomes, right? Similar incomes. They've both got £120 million.
Oh, I see. I mean, obviously the grounds are different.
But what's that marginal when you're in the Premier League?
Yeah, true. And
I
guess Bournemouth, if anything, have probably got. Well, but they probably got a bit more money, but they probably spent a bit more over the years.
They have made a decision. They have made a decision to not compete this year, and for me, when you're given every opportunity to compete when you're in the Premier League, that isn't good enough. Same with Norwich. If you're not going to play, if you're not going to come in and give it a go, then don't come. I know that isn't the way the league system works.
I think that's
just, like I'm what Forest has done is incredible, and it might bankrupt them. It might send them into, if it doesn't work, they might be screwed. But
there's a lot of hypocrisy in all of this, though. Like everyone hammered Fulham. And everyone will absolutely destroy Forest if they go down.
Yeah, but
if you give it a go, you got to safeguard that. You have to safeguard the club. You've got to be careful with that.
Fulham spent speculatively when they were last in the Prem. They brought in about 12 players, if you remember.
And they've been okay because they've been able to bounce up and down because they had too much. But the wider problem are not the clubs and the strategies that they choose. If Bournemouth choose that strategy, then so be it, and shouldn't be like chastised for it, for being sensible, because we'll all be very quick when it goes wrong, right? But the problem is that it's the game, it's the league. There's too much money in the league.
Look at Wolves. Yeah. Newcastle came up, Rio Club. Now look at them. Southampton, all of them there. Leeds are back. You can do it.
You can do it. But it's tough. It's tough, and you've got to be careful. If you're not, you can't just spend for the sake of spending, which Forest have drifted to that area. If I'm honest,
man, it is crazy.
They've gone too. I was like, I get it. I was like, I totally get it. But 21 is insane. It's mad.
It got to 12, and I was like, right now, that's enough.
Yeah.
That was at 12.
It got to a point where it was unnecessary.
This is stupid.
Yeah. It's like, should we have him? All right, we'll have him. Go on and take him. Like,
what must their wage bill be?
Well, let me look. This is so funny. So, if you're a patron, you'll know exactly what this is and why I'm being served all of these. You see that? That's so funny.
Fedoras.
Morgan's going to go for it. He said, didn't he? Where's it? I want the transfer overview. Where is it? Are we in the Premier League? Oh, here's everyone. Yeah, let's get to Forest. This is unbelievable. The ins 21. The expenditure is really interesting actually as well. Income expenditure, because that's the other thing is. See, the weird thing is, it is crazy from Forest to a point. See, this is what I mean. Where does everyone sit on this in terms of, are you okay with spending this kind of money? You've got to spend within your means. People will be saying that at some point when it goes wrong for some of these clubs. Leicester City are getting absolutely hammered, right? But Leicester City, I wonder if they're going, we're going to save our, we're going to keep our powder dry and we're going to go for it in the summer because what we want's not out there right now. I think being sensible people can go, well, you've got to just bring in new players. Like why?
Mate, you got to worry. You've got to worry for Forest if they do go down.
That's what I mean. So who's in a? I mean, they should again. That you should be fine. You should be able to go up and down. But as a QPR fan who's been through that stuff, the sort of the doing growth the right way, which is what we do now. I feel much better about that. But I also understand that when you then get into the Premier League, these kind of numbers are just it's ridiculous.
140 million pounds more than they're so. I'm not suggesting that Bournemouth have to do what Forest. Although I did say look at Forest at what they've done.
Because look, Leicester have made 57 million this window. Brighton have made huge money as well, right? And as I've said before, like the difference between 16th and 9th. Obviously, there's difference in TV money. Sure, but to just spend it for the sake of spending it is a dangerous thing. And I just want to, because Dougie Critchley, who's incredibly knowledgeable about football, he wrote a tweet and he was talking about Chelsea and the money that they've spent, right? And so let's show how much they've spent, right? Because they have spent a lot, 253 million. And we don't know if they're going to finish any higher in the league. And Dougie said, I'm picking apart Dougie's words here, but I just think it's interesting, right? He used the word, that's the standard now, right? And I was thinking, I didn't want to be pernickety, so I didn't tweet to him about that, but I do think it's interesting, is that this idea that the use of the word standard there is very dangerous, in my opinion, because you're suggesting that with standard that this is what you should be doing and it's the right thing to do. I don't think that's the case. This is the expectation and what's almost kind of becoming necessary. And that is a massive problem because we are, again, I know I'm going to keep ringing this bell this year. We keep patronising the Southamptons and the Brentfords and the Bournemouths. And this Super League, we're running towards this Super League. It just really upsets me.
Chelsea have, if we look at the value of what they've done, Cucurella for 60 million. He's a good player, but he's not 60 million pounds.
Yeah, they've overpaid for sure. Man City brought a really good centre back for 15 million, and Haaland for 50.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. I mean, the Haaland thing was a release clause. He's worth a lot more than that. The thing with Man City, what you got to worry about now is the fact that they've made, what was it? Did you say they've made 46 million?
They've made 18 million. They're 18 million up in this window.
18 million. That means that next window or next summer, if they want to, they can go really big.
On what? Where?
I know.
Like the best left back in the world, I guess that would be it, right?
I know, mate. I know.
It's
just
crazy.
That's how scary it is.
But that's why I mean. We're talking about the fluke results of a 9-0. Like, it means nothing. It means
more
nothing.
Normal, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Because it's turning into when Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, when they pump those teams, this is what's going to happen. It is going to happen because there's so much. But weirdly, the sort of juxtaposition to it is that actually I don't think the league's ever been more impressive.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Like Brighton have had a terrible window, right? But because they're winning a few games, because if Leicester are 8th in the league at this moment in time, no one's saying a word.
No, I just think that the problems with Leicester were evident last season and they've carried over. I think in terms of there are strong teams throughout the division and it feels more competitive than it ever has done before. And there are only really, I mean, it's early days, but you got to worry for Villa and you worry for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are down, I think, already.
It depends on the manager they bring in. Which apparently Big Sam's favourite. You're his agent, aren't you? Are you getting a cut on that?
He'd keep him up.
I honestly, their best chance is to go incredibly pragmatic. You got Kiefer Moore and
100%.
Solanke up top. Go for it.
Yeah. Sean Dyche or you. That's your best option. But
yeah, it's your best chance.
I just assumed we'd never see Sam Allardyce again, so I was surprised when you said that.
It's very Tony Pulis lives in Bournemouth. Just saying.
Does
Tony Pulis lives in Bournemouth.
I don't think Pulis is the man. But I think Allardyce or surely he could get Dyche.
I don't hate the Dyche shout. I think Dyche, the race to Dyche, as I've said before, I think he'd be great for them. He'd be really, really good for them.
What happened? Why did the geezer leave Sunderland and move to Stoke?
I think he was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I think that might have been part of it. So a bit of security there. Stoke City have got an all right squad actually, and he's a good chairman. They always say pick your chairman. So I think that's why. Who do you think won the window? And everyone in the chat, who do you think won the window? Last bit of the football chat. Got some funny bits. We've got Stephen Tries. Stephen Tries messaged me with a Samism, so I'll read that in a sec.
What are you saying? Stephen Tries watches the podcast.
Yeah, mate, loves it.
Wow. I'm gonna say I think you pretty much got it spot on there, mate.
Again,
I think it is. It is Man City.
Yeah. Anyone wants to put forward another idea, then I'll read about.
By the way, I think you could revisit this, obviously, because the two things take time to plan out. But Man United have won their last 3 games, haven't they?
Some cheeky views. Do you know what? There's a question for you.
We don't know how good Nunes is. It could be that he scores 20 goals this season. So
yeah, whose window could change the most? Do you think?
I think from the positions we're at now, I think Man United and Liverpool will eventually be further up.
Yeah,
I think Forest might drop.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea will end up probably going up. I think you'll have the status quo at the top, more or less. I don't think Chelsea will. I don't know. Fuck, it's interesting. The interesting Premier League really is, because even like Spurs, as you know, we're 11th we're unbeaten in 5. We played West Ham away and Chelsea away, and we've got 11 points. And the mood around Spurs fans in some quarters is this is not good enough. Like, I don't know what else.
Really? Did you see? So that's the one thing I was going to say. Like, in terms of those little predictions, because that's the thing is people. This is what I mean about the spending money thing. Once you've spent it, then you can't keep spending it forever, like you're saying about.
Oh no,
Arsenal.
I think this is what it is. Like as well, Jim, because we've done all of our business really early on.
It better work now.
Fans have just gone. No. Fans have gone. Well, that was months ago. I want more now. I want some more.
Gluttony. Same, Joe. I'm intrigued to see how West Ham fans behave, because they've had a really good window, and something could be happening if they can keep calm. But if the expectations go too high, then it could.
Did you see David Moyes? If we stop with the football chat now, David Moyes going, if Richarlison does that showboating at Upton Park, not Upton Park, at the London Stadium, whatever it's that heap's called, then he's going to get put up in the air. So hang on, David Moyes is fine with booting a ball into a child's face, or Kurt Zuma kicking a cat, but doing a few kick-ups on the pitch, that's his line, is it?
Yeah.
What if Richarlison was doing kick-ups with a cat? Would that be all right? Fine with that? 'Cause he played Kurt Zuma directly after.
Yeah, sounds like it probably would.
Yeah,
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
Alien.
Although you don't blame anyone for crunching him, do you?
Nah, fuck it. He's fine. He does it. You do it. Every action has a reaction, but the fallout from sort of gammon pundits has been ridiculous.
Did you see Carragher sort of had a little bit of a spice with the Toffee TV? But I think it was Ped, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
A couple of super chats. One, a very, very generous super chat. Thank you, JDP 1989. Should have been a moisty for years, as I've been listening since the Bull Street days. So here's some dollars to make it up.
How many dollars?
50 Aussie dollars, I think. Very, very,
what?
very, very good. Just buy a ball, mate. I wish I could.
Well,
how do you refund it?
Why don't you buy a ball with the money? How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Hang on. What kind of state is the Aussie economy in? That might be about £6. That's fucking
good
check.
point.
Or we give him too many props.
Yeah. Well, maybe. What if if you send me your address, I could buy a ball and send it to you with that money.
Do that.
Okay. Anyway, what's it? Spurs are actually playing. What's Flav's opinion on how Spurs are actually playing? Because results are all right. Play seems average. Is he scared of your sweet Gunners?
I mean, I'm not scared. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with the fact that Arsenal are top of the league. I'm not going to deny that. Everybody is
rattled.
No one wants. Yeah, 100% rattled. What do you want from me? What am I an actual Spurs fan if you're not rattled by the fact that Arsenal are doing well? There's nothing wrong. Look, this is what's wrong with fan bases and the sort of banter and all that sort of bullshit on Twitter is like, of course, you want me to be rattled. I've got to be rattled. I need to be.
I'm sorry.
I need to be rattled by that.
It's important to be rattled.
But bearing in mind, it feels bad at the moment. But it's going to feel so fucking good when it starts to go wrong. And so this is the downside. and then we're going to have the upside at some stage. Even if it might take months, at some stage in this season, Arsenal will start to fall apart a little bit.
Okay, let me
At
stop
that
you
point,
there. That's
I'm
enough.
going to be unbearable.
It's enough football.
What was the question? I'll be playing. Just quickly, just because he was so generous.
You've already answered it though. You said that fans are getting a bit annoyed.
Yeah, the play isn't good. We haven't kicked into gear yet, but we are third in the league. Don't worry. So, I mean, is he an Arsenal fan? Whatever it is, don't worry.
I think it's best.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll be fine. We've got Conte, who's the best manager, one of the best managers in the world.
F. Sam Al Hassan, thank you. Last time watching the pod live, as I'm starting teaching. Oh, mate, good luck. Send us any funny stories. Thank you for making my week. This pod is the best on YouTube. I agree. Any advice for teaching?
Get out.
Try and keep calm.
Get out.
No, good for you, man. Don't get
Teaching who, though? Inner city youth? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we going off to a private school somewhere?
I smell a teacher who you teaching tier list. Inner city youth is top, isn't it? Who do you teach?
That's teaching.
Really, it's actually a really poor school. Oh, okay, well done.
Yeah, like teaching inner city youth. Teaching in the inner city youth, I was one. Teaching us was a bloody nightmare, right?
Yeah, tough.
And they deserved every penny they got. But if you're going to a paid-for primary school, you get no props at all.
Maestro D, I'm checking out the pod again, like every week. Good man. Okay. Oh, sorry. Last one. Last quick super chat. 'Cause it's only right. Where is it? There it is. Oscar, what do you make of Ethan Laird so far at QPR? Terrible in his first game, been absolutely on fire since. And I saw an interview with him, and he's got a lovely smile and way about him. I'd love to interview.
That sounds like football chat as well.
Yeah, okay, it was quick. Right, funny stuff.
It's about 30 quid actually, so it's just about US Australian dollars. So get the ball,
perfect.
buy the ball.
All right, send me your address. Okay, quote of the week from last week, Sam Carlisle, talking about Malacia. Flav says, did they sign him this season? I say, yeah. Flav would, no one cares. I said, you asked me. That was funny. Oh, by the way, I think on YouTube you can like clip things up, and people did that, and it was really good. So clip funny stuff up. How to always be right at the football. When a player, Moist Kevin, this is a good name, Moist Kevin on YouTube. That's good. How to always be right at the football. When a player scores, never compliment the finish. Instead, comment on one of the passes leading up to the goal instead. If you really want to flex your superior football knowledge, point out one of the defensive errors in the build-up to really hammer home just how tactically astute you are.
Yeah, that's what my mate Windy used to actually write a blog on goals conceded. Like goals, like not the goals Spurs scored. He'd focus all of his energy on the ones we conceded. And I'm like, why do you live your life like that?
Yeah, that's tough. Oh my God,
stop doing it eventually.
That gave me indigestion. Just hearing you say that.
It makes me feel anxious.
Yeah,
it makes it give me an anxious feeling.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Anxiety, yeah, that's it.
Resident ref Matt Robson, tell us what you think about this one. Because Tom C was saying, is it this one? Hang on. Oh yeah, I just found the comments funny on this one. I think football should bring in 3 rugby rules as it relates to the ref. I wonder if your response to this is the same as mine and the same as the response in the replies. So see what your first thought is. So three rugby rules as it relates to the ref. 1, players can get booked for being rude to the ref. 2, players can be booked for repeated minor offences even if the particular offence isn't worth a booking. And 3, only the captain is allowed to talk to the ref. What do you think about those 3 rules?
They're already in place.
That's what I thought. Everyone said the same. 2 of those are already rules, Tom. So,
I mean, all 3 of them, really. You could argue.
Yeah, poor lad. I just thought it was funny because I thought it, then looked at the replies. All the replies are exactly the same, so I just want to see if you do the same. Stephen Selfbum. We were talking about someone got. We were talking about Stephen Selfbum, and also if. The idea of making Selfbum a tactical thing. So first of all, if Stephen Selfbum was a player, Jack Lane said Stephen Selfbum, definitely a talismanic goal-scoring centre-back for a Burnley-type team. Occasionally puts in an own goal, but he's always a fan favourite regardless. A big lad, great in the air, but a bit slow. He just can't help letting a few runners in behind, if you like. So that's Stephen Selfbum, the player. Although I feel like a German Stefan Selfbum would maybe fit better. And then Harley, he was talking about the football self-bum. This is great. When an attacker has a big touch and the defender gets in front, throwing his bum backwards to initiate contact and then dives to the ground to win a free kick. That's a self-bump.
Yeah.
That will happen when people are watching football this weekend, so enjoy. Enjoy the self bomb.
Do you think there's any confused people out there going, what's going on?
Yeah, well, they probably are now, but go back to last week's podcast. It's too late now. We're too deep in. If you are watching right now,
it is putting your own penis in your own bum. I just wanted to say that. I wanted to put that into words. That's what we're actually talking.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a sneaking off with a cheeky finger up the bum. But
oh, is that what it is?
Well, that was just my.
But if you're blessed, you can do that. You can give yourself a self bump.
Yeah, that feels like far too much work. 1,802 people watching right now. If you like if you're liking the stream, hit the like button for me because it will help the video.
Like for self bumming.
There you go. Yawn chat in a new low for the podcast. We were talking about when you try to disguise a yawn, and you sort of like go.
Like when you're in a meeting at work, you're like,
no, interesting.
You can actually tell because the tendons and neck go.
Yeah.
Even if someone's really experienced, you like hiding of a yawner.
Stoko Pops. So how to disguise a yawn? Hello, lads. I've had the yawn issue a few times on Zoom with clients. Occasionally, I just can't hold it in anymore, and the yawn starts to come out. A technique I've found that works well in these emergency situations is as follows: the fake sneeze. If a yawn starts to come out, your mouth is opening and you really can't stop it. I tend to disguise this yawn as a sneeze. Just at the point of your mouth fully extending, let out a fake sneeze instead and cover your mouth as you would normally. This is much more socially acceptable bodily function and one that is sometimes greeted with a bless you, suggesting that the person is totally fine with it. I found a few of these thrown in once in a while works well. There you go. Only forwards. Stoko.
You know, when you've been making love, Jim, have you ever yawned? Can you yawn if you're holding your breath? I'm not sure you can.
The ultimate slugs in the wall will be someone having sex, filming themselves yawning.
I think that is the funniest thing you've ever said, Jim, is that the first time you had sex, you held your breath.
I don't know why I said that. There we go. Right, everyone ready? Everyone ready?
I think we were talking about when you were kissing your girlfriend when you're in your teens and you hold your breath just in case.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Samism. A couple of Samisms. SWC, this is a great Samism. And then we've got one from Stephen Tries. Oh, God, I've got a rush of my head. I just got lightheaded.
What? You got so excited?
From the, from the holding my breath. Great Samism this week. I was watching TV and when someone was trying to say that a person had a lot of things going on in their life and career, they came out with, he's got a lot of eggs in a lot of pies.
That's rubbish.
That's
rubbish. It's just rubbish.
I can only assume he's going for, he's got fingers in a lot of pies. At some point along the way got muddled up with putting all his eggs in one basket. Well, an SWJ. And this came from Stephen Tries. KSI with the Samism last week, and he called out Andy Tate, didn't he? I was as fit as a daisy. Samism KSI there, unless he finds the flowers of women named Daisy really attractive. So there you go. I was as fit as a butcher's daisy.
It was all a little bit, I don't know, cringeworthy.
Do you know what I struggle with? What goes through me? It's the belts.
What was that about? They've created influencer belts. Is that?
Are they? Is that what's going on here?
I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know. Like, fucking
those belts aren't boxing belts. I've never seen.
Of course not. They're embarrassing. Like, any of these belts? Just chill out with the belts, or put together a proper tournament and establish who is the best, and let there be a belt.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Can't just let KSI have it or Jake Paul have it. It's a nonsense, and it's cringeworthy.
I think I like the idea of influencer boxing. I have no idea. I've got nothing against it. I actually think it's fun, right? And some of them actually can box. I saw that guy. Who's the guy who did the backflip and hit his foot? Like didn't land the backflip.
Yeah, that was great.
What's his name?
And the is it the guy?
He can box.
Filipino. The guy who does the salt, like the guy that does the.
Yes, yeah. Salt Pappy.
That's it. He knocks someone out.
So you can go on DAZN's YouTube and it's all on there, right? I watched that because people were talking about it, and he's definitely boxed before, 100%.
Oh, he can box.
But that geezer, the one that fell on his face, he could go pro. Like now, he's good enough.
Wow. Okay.
But generally, the standard was poor. But if it's influencer boxing, that's fine. I like it. It's like blue collar boxing. It exists already. It just this one has an audience. But the problem I had with KSI saying he's fighting a pro fighter, that geezer was trash.
He was trash.
Anyone can turn pro. That proved absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Last Amazon, this is funny. Of Key was joking with the girl in work about her messing up, and she used the expression, "You're not going to make me one of those escape goats."
In her head, there's escape goats.
Turns out she thought the expression had something to do with throwing a goat at predators so you could escape.
That is amazing.
It's like,
he's an escape goat.
Yeah. Oh God, we're in trouble here. Have you got the escape goat?
That's wonderful.
Very good. Power move. A subtle power move from Alexander M. Waiting until 4 days after a Jaffin episode to leave a comment and still getting it read out in the next show. Smart move, Alexander. Smart move. Well done. And finish off with an unwritten rule. Pierre Hines. Football unwritten rule. If the ref doesn't know whose the ball it is, he gives it to whoever picks it up first. That is true.
It is weird. Yeah, sometimes.
And also, Ashley Smith, this is Joe. How do you feel about this? A follow-up unwritten rule. I think this is true. If a player goes down and immediately grabs the ball, they get the free kick because sending them off for deliberate handball would be too much hassle. It's true, isn't it?
It does. You do. Yeah, it is true.
That's quite smart, actually, as well, because if you do that, especially if you're in a dodgy area, say you're a right-sided centre-back, and you're worried now, and you go down hoping for the foul, and you do grab the ball, would you get sent off, or would you get a booking?
Booking in that instance.
Okay.
It's if you're stopping the
Either
ball
way,
from
you'll
going in
stop
the goal,
you'll stop the attack, so you're safe. I've got to say, time wasting as an all-time high or low, whatever you want to put it. I'm just it's boiling my blood at the moment. The amount of cramp. Everyone's getting cramp. Jesus.
What Jim? You just simply have to just stop the watch and add it onto the end, no matter how long it is.
I'd like to see that. They need to get hold of it, and I think they probably will.
Do you like the new sort of incentive to let the game just go? Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, overall, I think I am. The get up rule is a good one.
Yeah,
I think. Thoughts on Everton? Very quick super chat. There's something on De Jong signing for Arsenal next summer. Okay, and Mohammed says thoughts on the Everton window. Maupay will do, but you needed another striker really. But the midfield was a key area.
Arsenal fans want De Jong as well.
Oh yes, please.
Well, £80 million are going to drop on De Jong on top of the £220 million they've already dropped.
Serge Aurier set to sign for Forest as a free agent, number 22. What is going on? What is going on?
He's actually good. I always had time.
They're all good. You just don't need them. It's ridiculous. Okay, right, guys.
He's got Nico Williams, haven't he? It's not like
true. Yeah, they got mate. They've got 3 left wing backs. They've all signed. It's absolutely ridiculous. Guys, link is in the description. Go get the official Jaffin football, which has a sandwich on it. All the money goes to charity.
Come on.
It is delicious and nutritious. There it is, spinning with all its wonderment. Yeah, amazing charity, doing great things. So get behind them. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Please send us images of the ball when you get it.
Yes. I mean, it'll be a while, but yes. And Slugs in the Wild, get your videos in. But next Wednesday, save us next Wednesday. Right, guys. Thanks a lot.